Praveen.
Hello, sir.
It's a pleasure that we are all meeting on a platform. And let me just brief you about my background. Basically, I'm a mechanical engineer, 1975 batch from Vallavidhyanagar. Since then, my career started as a hardcore factory machine shop engineer. For 10 years, I was on the shop floor, and it was one of the biggest companies in those days, called Mafatlal Engineering. And yes, for 10 years, I worked directly on the shop floor. So, very fair knowledge of manufacturing activities in all. Then I shifted to the one more company where I went abroad to Italy for 3.5 months training as a quality chief. We were manufacturing the textile machineries. In those days, that was the uh, only company, you can say, apart from one company in the south, that were offering those kind of comber and very highly specialized uh, machineries. From there I was in a quality, and then in 1986, I shifted to completely supply chain management and materials management side. For 1996 to 86 to almost for 5 years, I handled a stores in one of the electronic companies where the stores had 60,000 electronic components, and the electronic components were right from a small, very minor, like resistors, capacitors. There, in one box you can have 100 capacitors and still. So that was a kind of stores that 60,000 components, from smallest of the item to the heaviest of the item. So we had a very nice, very large stores layout. There I was a materials officer. Uh, there itself I got into export imports and customs clearance management in the same company. So we were having quite a few collaborations with many world-known companies like Sony and Bosch and all that. So we used to have a very high interactive uh, one-to-one meetings with those representatives whenever they came. They were coming very frequently. And this company, which was Gujarat Communications and Electronics Limited, was the pioneer company who introduced the low power transmission equipments during the 1972 Indira Gandhi days, when every day one station was installed for Commonwealth Games that were hosted in India. So every day we are installing one LPT, by which the whole of India got covered with the television sets. That was the year where the television industry exploded. Uh, Apart from that, yes, there were aircraft landing equipments we were making. They were assisting the pilots to center onto the runway and land safely. So that was supplied across India, almost all the major airport stations. So that was an area where I went to Australia, uh, Germany. So then it was quite a hectic those years. Then subsequently, I joined MAN Turbo. MAN MAN is a world number one company into compressors, turbines of Germany. There we were having a service station in Baroda, where we are providing these services to around more than 300 installations in India. It's a very highly complicated uh, equipment, uh, and technology was of the highest order. There I went to Germany about 3-4 times for same logistics activities. We used to be there, take all the components, parts, and ship it to India in a systematic manner and all. So there I was there for about 7 years. Then I joined Adani Logistics in New Delhi. Uh, so There I was responsible for the logistics movement of, see, they have a, nobody knows about this Adani's this venture. It is there for last almost 15 years now. Uh, they are doing something very good for farmers of Himachal Pradesh. They collect the apple during the apple season, and there are stores where the fresh apples are stored. In that store, what they do is they extract the oxygen and fill with nitrogen. So what happens is the life of apple becomes very long. So we used to store them for almost about 5-6 months, from almost in November, December till April. So because November to April was the period of getting fresh apple from Himachal and Kashmir. So after that, in April, we used to open those stores because the supply would reduce. And then every day we had minimum of 10 to 12 trucks. They are all reefer trucks because apple cannot be transported in a normal truck. So they were high temperature control reefer trucks. And we are moving across India, right from Himachal Pradesh till Chennai, Kolkata, East, West, all the four regions of India. And on an average, we had about 40 to 50 trucks plying on the road. And we used to get the constant information about its location, about when it's going to reach and when it has reached. And even we had a GPS system fitted for temperature control so that we know that the driver has maintained the temperature and all. So it was a very challenging task. And being a fresh fruit, it was all the more challenging. So there I was for 4 years. Then I came back to Baroda. I belong to Baroda, and I joined a company which is purely a 100% logistics company. We were into, I was handling this entire Gujarat, that is Kandla, Mundra, Pipavav, Hazira, and including Rajasthan, Jaipur and all those areas. We are a hardcore logistics company providing export, import, customs clearance and heavy duty transportations. I was personally involved in transporting heavy equipments of the tune of 250 tons, 300 tons capacity, 70 meters long, about 6 meters diameter, huge equipments for L&T and many other companies. So that is where I spent almost about 9 years. And 2018, I retired. And then I have started my own firm called Technocom Logistics and Industrial Services LLP. And I provide whoever customer needs some guidance. I provide them my services for logistics solutions. So almost you can say that from 1986 onwards till 2018, I was fully involved into supply chain management, materials management, and logistics, hardcore logistics operations. I was one of the team member for setting up the Dabhol Power project. You know, in Maharashtra, there was Dabhol Power Company. Unfortunately, that closed down, but that was the power company with GE, USA. So 1,800 crores worth of equipments we imported in Mumbai, transported to the site. So it was quite a challenging, big job, but unfortunately that plant, because of political reasons, it closed down. So like this, there are many, many projects which I can go on telling, but then basically a complicated projects we were handling. And I retired as a vice president there in this company. So now, yes, I was also a faculty member for Indian Institute of Materials Management, where I was giving lectures on materials management, purchasing, and stores management. I used to set the papers, check the papers. So there also I was involved for quite a long time, about 5-6 years. Basically, I like to impart the knowledge that I have. During my career also, I have done that. Quite many people, I have trained them, and they are all at a very senior position now. So it gives me a pleasure in imparting the knowledge that I have taken, I have gathered so far. So that's my background. Yeah. So now, anything else you would like to know?
सर काफी रिच एक्सपीरियंस है और मल्टीपल
Yeah, yeah.
फंक्शंस में है. एक सिमिलर फंक्शन नहीं है प्रोडक्शन से लेके, क्योंकि बेसिक स्टार्ट होता है प्रोडक्शन से और
जी जी.
काफी कुछ सीखने के लिए मिलता है प्रोडक्शन से. एक्चुअली बैकबोन भी कहा जाता है प्रोडक्शन के लिए ही.
Yes.
तो
आप
काफी
प्रोडक्शन में हो?
नहीं, मैं प्रोडक्शन नहीं देखता हूँ सर. एक्चुअली मैं भी सप्लाई चेन का पार्ट हूँ.
अच्छा.
जी जी.
Just tell me
और
about your background.
यस सर, basically I'm doing the graduation uh, in 2006, and after that I've joined the O level program by DOEX Society New Delhi, and one program of computer program of FTech. After that I'm joined the 2008 in start the professional career 2008 by Ganesha in sector of uh, plastic fiber wools company. So I give the 8 month only. After that, I'm switched the Anchor Electricals Panasonic group. 6 years I have there. Uh, After that, I'm joined the move in automobile sector from 2015, and continue. I'm in automobile sector in
Oh, good. That's
store
a growing sector.
purchase. Yes. uh, Store, I will start from store and then move to purchase, and now become I'm look the all activities as a operation head.
Oh, good. Where is
So
the plant?
in Uttarakhand, Pantnagar.
Okay. Pantnagar is a very.
Yes.
I had been there once or twice actually. Pantnagar.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, which is this company?
uh,
Which vehicle they are manufacturing?
Two wheelers, actually, for Bajaj. We
Bajaj.
are
Okay.
supplying to plastic in we actually our plant is injection molding plant.
Okay.
We are supplying to plastic molding part to Bajaj two wheelers.
Good, good, good. See, I had an experience with automobile industry way back in 2017, 18 period. Maruti Gujarat plant.
Okay.
See, one of our customers was Chennai based. Now they had a contract with Maruti to give the frames for chairs, driver and the next
Okay.
passenger chairs, the frames, the pipe, which are made up of pipes.
Yes. Yes.
So they are one of the largest pipe manufacturers in India. So what we used to do was they were sending us here to we had set up our own warehouse come uh, delivery unit, and we used to get the material from them, and there were kits to be prepared. And Maruti used to give us previous day evening what they need next day morning at 8 o'clock. So overnight we were preparing those number of kits for different types of models and all, and they were to be delivered by 7:45 at a particular station because the entire plant was robotic. There was
Yes.
nobody,
Yes. Sir.
nothing manual. So we were supposed to deliver at 8 o'clock, before 8 o'clock, those kits at Maruti plant, and then they were automatically picked up. The penalties were so high because they can't
Yes, sir.
afford to uh,
Every vehicle's time
stop
is
the
fixed.
assembly unit plant, which is
Yes.
continuous. So it was a very big challenging work. I did it for almost over a year or so.
Right, sir.
And the way they work, it is some fantastic. And you get hardly 12 hours to do that kind of jobs. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Archita, how
Thank you.
about you? Please introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Sir Harshita this side. I have done my polytechnic in 2013. Then I have started working as a production engineer in automobile sector, I in automotive in Haryana. There I worked at about 3.5 years worked there. After that I have joined Panasonic Anchor Electrical. There I worked for almost 2.5 years.
What is your function? Which
In
department?
production.
Production.
Yes. Currently, I am working at Great White Electricals as a manufacturing excellence engineer.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I have total 9 years of experience in production and manufacturing excellence.
Good. So nice to meet you all. Actually, let me assure you one thing, that the subject that you have selected for this course is really excellent. Supply chain management is a backbone of any industry, and it is not only growing, but it is not only important, but it is growing in a very different way of late. So maybe 5 years down the line, we may see a totally different way of the way the logistics is being handled. So yeah, congratulations to you for selecting this course. And shall we start?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just a minute. Huh? I'll just come. So feel free to ask questions.
Yeah, okay. Start, I'm saying something. आपका एक्सपीरियंस काफी अच्छा है लॉजिस्टिक्स में भी, मैंने जैसे अभी आपने बताया था। तो एक्चुअली यहाँ पे मैं दो तीन चीजें जानना चाहूंगा कि ये अभी जो ट्रेंड है, जो 3PL 4PL का ट्रेंड अभी स्टार्ट हुआ है लास्ट सम इयर्स, वो कॉन्सेप्ट्स किस तरीके से रन किए जाते हैं, क्या कॉस्टिंग पैटर्न्स होते हैं, तो उन को मैं थोड़ा सा डीपली जानना चाहूंगा।
I think let us do one thing. We will come to that 3PL, 4PL also since we have a long way to go ahead. We will be taking sessions. Let me first introduce you to the subject of SCM and logistics. Once you understand that, maybe then the subject will develop, where we will definitely cover 3PL, 4PL, everything. Because I myself was handling 4PL operations. Even today, for my personal company, what I do is I offer 3PL and 4PL solutions. I provide people the warehouses outside their factory, or if they want even their stores to be managed within the factory, then what I do is I provide them manpower. I provide them the facilities of forklift and other equipments, including manpower, including trained as well as labor. And the material handling equipments that I provide are with the operators. So the company doesn't have to worry about कि भाई आज forklift वाला छुट्टी पे चला गया. He has gone on leave, and then you are stuck. So that kind of services even today I am providing. I had a collaboration with one Japanese company for this same 3PL logistics. Unfortunately, after the Corona, they wound up and went back because they were quite afraid. In those days, it was quite serious. Now they are going to come back again, maybe by end of this year. So 3PL and 4PL, yes, I will explain to you thoroughly what is the concept, how it works. Okay. Let me first introduce you to the subject of SCM.
Okay, no issues. Yeah. Actually, last week I had a call from TVS SCM.
Okay.
Actually, they are converting as a SCM from logistic to SCM. So I have an offer for job in Tata.
You can always call me separately if you maybe we can discuss out if you have any ideas. I can always help you out.
Our experience with you. मैंने क्या किया कि तो 3PL 4PL मतलब उससे कांटेक्ट एज अ थर्ड पार्टी हो रहा था, तो मैंने वो क्लियरली उसको मना कर दिया। मतलब अब मैं इसमें आगे आपसे सीखूंगा और वो
नो
कितना
नो
सेफली
3PL
है।
इज, देखो अभी ऐसा है कि इंडस्ट्री पहले अपना खुद का जो लॉजिस्टिक्स एक्टिविटी करती थी, तो उसमें अपना पूरा दे हैड टू हैव लॉट ऑफ मैन पावर टू हैंडल द लॉजिस्टिक्स एक्टिविटी। अभी क्या है, बिकॉज टू सेव कॉस्ट प्राइमरीली 3PL and 4PL is because the company, number one, they don't want to have a botheration of manpower, employing their own manpower. Number two, they don't want to bother about कि भाई मटेरियल कब निकला, कब पहुंचा, ड्राइवर कहाँ पे है, गाड़ी कहाँ है, बिगड़ गई है तो क्या हुआ। So now most of the companies are subcontracting the logistics activity to 3PL and 4PL companies. So the company wants to see, basically 3PL and 4PL have evaluated because the company wants to focus on its own expertise. अगर आप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग आप बनाते हो स्कूटर, तो आपका कंसंट्रेशन सिर्फ उसी पे होना चाहिए। ये जो लॉजिस्टिक्स एक्टिविटी है, दैट इज नॉट ए कंपनीज कोर कॉम्पिटेंस। तो उनको क्या करना पड़ता है, पूरा लॉजिस्टिक्स डिपार्टमेंट एक खड़ा करना पड़ता है और उसमें जिम्मेदारी सारी कंपनी की आ जाती है। तो उसकी जगह पे अभी नाउ व्हाट दे डू इज दे सब कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड टू 3PL कंपनीज एंड 4PL कंपनीज, सो दैट दे डोंट हैव टू बॉदर। आपने बना दिया, उनको हैंड ओवर कर दिया, वो पहुंच गया। They are only interested in seeing that my material has been delivered safely at the right place and right time. So that this has become very popular for past quite many years now. No company wants to have its own logistics department.
Yes, sir.
So that is why it is 3PL or 4PL. We will come to that. लेकिन अगर आपको इसके बारे में कभी भी, आई एम टेलिंग यू हर्षिता also, if you are having any confusion, not necessarily that we discuss on this platform, you can always call me. Now we have a WhatsApp group. You can just put a message. I'll call you back. And if there is anything which I can help you out with your doubts or clarifications, yeah, please feel free. Not an issue.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So we start with basics of supply chain management. Now, what is supply chain management? If you see the whole meaning of every word in it, one is supply, there is a chain, and there is a management. So it is something which is related.
I will request, sir, if you can put the slide on full slide, like
Yeah, 1 minute.
at the lower side there is a cup, or you can go from.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, supply chain management has evolved, and if you see the meaning of it, every word, it's a chain. It is not a single activity. It's a chain of activities for supply of goods and services to the end customer. And when you manage this complete chain, because when we call it as a chain, it is not one event. There are multiple of events. So that is where the supply chain management word has evolved. There is a Europe-based Dave Waters, who is quite famous for, currently also, he's into logistics field and quite a well-known personality. And he is now working seriously on the AI of logistics and supply chain management, artificial intelligence. So what he has said is that supply chain is like nature. It is all around us. Now, if you think this as a separate subject, technical subject or all, but just look around us on everyday basis, you see wherever you go, whatever you do, there is a supply chain. There is a logistics. So it is something which is not, but only thing is that we don't see it as a supply chain or a logistics. For example, if you have to go on a tour to some place, say outside India, let us say, for example, what you do is you book the flight, you look at the lowest and the best airlines and the lowest flight rates and all. So you start working quite early. You book the flight. Then in that booking the flight, you even choose the seats. You decide which is the nearest airport where you can go, and then you travel. And then you also have to travel to that nearest airport. This is one example. So like that, people who are commuting in Mumbai, uh, they are so used to it that they catch a train of 8:02 a.m. If they have to reach their office by 9:30, so they are used to so minutely that 8:02 ka shuttle pakadna hai. Now what happens is they, over a period of time, they have evolved that at what time should I leave my house, because their house would not be near. So to catch that 8:02 shuttle, they have to leave the house at 7:35 or 7:30. So they know, by the time they know they leave their house, they know whether they are going to catch that train or not. So that is also a logistics. So there are many examples which are always around us. There is nothing which we have to see separately. As far as the industry is concerned, yes, it is more specific, but supply chain is all around us. We have to just think in every action that happens around us, where is the supply chain or where is the logistics? Now, this is one of the finest examples of, you can say, supply chain and logistics. Are you aware about this photograph? Any guess?
Yes. Yes, sir. Dabba service. Bombay Dabba
Yes.
service.
So this Dabbawala service
Bombay
in
tiffin
Mumbai,
service.
yeah, Dabbawala service in
Yes.
Mumbai, it is so accurate that they have even gone, this organization has gone right up to Harvard and given lecture as to how they are managing such a large quantity of food which they are collecting from every house. All dabbas are same, yet they are delivered at the exact time of lunch to every office in Mumbai. This is one of the classic examples of a logistics and supply chain. Right from the doorstep of the person to his table for the lunch. This is very famous, and this has become famous all over the world also. It's a very classic example. Now, how they do it is something which they have said on quite a few occasions on their interviews, but still there is a secret which they are still maintaining it, and it's quite a complicated operations to think about that how such a thing can happen. So just look around us and you will find so many of such examples of supply chain and logistics. Now, to know the supply chain, we need to know how the whole thing has evolved. If you see this slide, the pyramid, you will see that there has been an industrial growth all across. Originally, it was Industry 1.0. That was way back in 1750 onwards, wherein steam was invented and the steam engines were invented, and little bit of mechanization because of the steam power was also invented. And primarily this was used in those days for moving the military, coal and other essentials from one place to the other place. The second revolution, Industry 2.0, was from 19th to earlier 20th century, where the mass production started, particularly in Europe and USA, the vehicles, primarily mass production of vehicles was started, and mass production assembly line concept was introduced during those days. And the electricity was also invented. Hence, from steam power to electrical power, the industry shifted and the mass production started. There are Lauren Hardy movie on this particular uh, mass production techniques. Sometimes, if you happen to come across, it's a good movie which shows how the mass production was launched and how there is a hilarious comedy going around in that movie. So this was up to early 20th century, and then the next one was Industry 3.0. This 3.0 was after, you can say, the Second World War. Second half of the 20th century, that is this, wherein the electronics was introduced in a big way. IT and internet, that came subsequently. With electronics, it started, then IT developed, and the internet also got developed. So during Industry 3.0, the IT and internet was being used, and today also it is being used more and more. If you see on the top, there is I have given that 1784 was the Industry 1.0 to start, 1870 was Industry 2.0, then 3.0 was 1969, and now it is Industry 4.0. Now 4.0 is still not, has just crept in of late, last couple of years. It talks more of AI, artificial intelligence, and more of internet technology. So this is how the whole industry has developed. And when this industry developed, the whole requirement of moving man and material changed. Industry 1.0, primarily that was more concentrated in Europe and USA. In India, it was hardly anything because we were not, we were ruled by the Britishers. Yeah, but from 2.0, India started getting some technology through the Britishers, and then we started using the electricity. And basically, in India, there was no mass production as such, but electricity was introduced. But from 3.0, that is 1969 onwards, yeah, it was fully, we were into the picture. After we became independent in 52 or 54 onwards, the industry started developing in India, primarily fertilizer, coal, mining, and steel industry. These were the three major industries which developed, which started the revolution in India. And then subsequently, we know the whole story in last 30, 40 years that is happening. Now, what was happening during first and second phase of industrial development? See, in those days, there were no SCM or logistics management as a subject or as something which is being practiced. So there used to be individual departments. Today also they are all individual departments, same production, stores, accounts, purchase. In those days, these were the four main departments existing in a company. The biggest challenge was that they were not interacting with each other. They were all independently working departments. So the heads of all these departments would report to the works manager. And the works manager would hold either a weekly meeting or a quarterly meeting or a monthly meeting, and he would share common problems as far as the company's goals are concerned. That company wants to manufacture so much, company wants to dispatch so much. So he would be then advising in a common meeting of all these heads and then giving them the direction as to what is expected out of them. uh, there was no direct interaction between productions and stores. Production was saying, I'm only responsible producing, so then you would just move the item to stores and forget about it. So that was the period in which the first and second phase of industrial development, this was the concept being happening. So which was always a not a healthy sign, because there was no any interaction between the departments. Now, if you see the SCM, if you see the SCM cycle, this is how what happened was that the whole same thing got evolved into a better interaction, right from purchase of raw materials, supplier management, manufacturing, logistics, then giving it to the retailer and to the customer. And again, the demand increases. So again, the same cycle repeats. Now here, in SCM, this was a chain of activities which are all linked together. And then by the time the IT also got developed, electronics also got developed. So people were able to interchange and uh, pass on information to each other freely. With the computers were introduced, so they had a common platform of information sharing within the company, with the supplier, uh, with the logistics person. So because of the introduction of the computers and internet, this became quite easy. So this is how the modern SCM cycle is working, where everything is linked to each other. And that is how it is a chain. So then further, if you break down the supply chain management, which was in the previous slide, this is integrated supply chain, wherein if you see customer analysis, purchasing oblique supplier partnering, means the suppliers were considered as a partner of the company, not as an individual supplier. So if company had some difficulty, or the way company was developing the suppliers to suit their requirement, to suit their quality, to suit the delivery, so and also bring down the cost at the supplier's end, company would go out of the way and help them to reduce even their material cost, so that ultimately the company's cost is reduced. Then there's an inventory management and control. As the warehouses, company started doing warehousing management, whether within the company or through a 3PL, the inventory management and control became very important, because there is a saying in materials management or in inventory control that every rupee saved on material adds directly to the profit of the organization. So inventory management and control was given the highest what you call importance, and they were minutely controlling the inventory and the stock levels, minimum maximum stock, dead inventory. So it became a special subject by itself. Then came demand and lead time management. So this also, previously this lead time management was not considered as a very, एक बार ट्रक निकल गया कंपनी से, the company would feel कि yes, my job is done. अभी कब पहुंचेगा destination पे, that they are not very keen, because at that time the mobiles were also not there. There were no systems like GPS also. So this is the typical time. So once this mobile and GPS and internet technologies came, the lead time management became very important, and companies are now trying to ensure that there is a lowest of lead time from the moment you place an order and the customer gets delivery. Then materials management, of course, is a part of stores and inventory control. Then manufacturing, remanufacturing and remanufacturing assembly. So this is another part of a hardcore manufacturing activity. storage and transportation, order fulfillment. Now, order fulfillment is a very recent word, last couple of years, which has been used by Amazon and others, wherein if you have ordered, say, 100 numbers of an item, you get all 100 numbers in a particular. So they call it as order fulfillment. Even if you go to Amazon, they will say order fulfillment is a word which they are using quite frequently. And then customer analysis. Now, customer analysis has become a very important aspect in today's world, that companies are trying to see what customer wants. Then after providing the item he wants, whether he's happy, he's satisfied. So they take feedback from you, if the feedback from the customer, for continuous improvement in the quality and the other aspects of a product. So this has now become an integrated supply chain management. It is not an individual supply chain. Now we go to definition of supply chain. Yeah, supply chain management was introduced first time in 1982 by Keith Oliver. Now he was a logistics person in Europe, and for the first time he introduced this word of supply chain management. Till that time, there was no such word of supply chain management. And once that was introduced, the people started using it, industry started using it as a more and more frequently, and now it has become the main thing of an industrial activity. That supply chain management is something which is key to an industrial activity. So now, further, what Mr. Oliver said, that SCM is based on the idea that nearly every product that comes to the market results from the efforts of various organizations that make up a supply chain. So it is not one organization, it is a chain. So the efforts are of various organizations, various intermediaries. And although supply chain have existed for ages, supply chain was there right from the, say, Industrial Revolution #1, because during those days even the steam power was used, but yet to move the army and the primarily those days, that was the main thing. Yet there were supply chain issues were there in those days. So most companies have only recently paid attention to them as a value added to their operations. So in 1982, for the first time, Keith Oliver explained this concept of supply chain management, and which was fragmented previously, which was being done in pieces, which was not, there was no linkage between one activity to the other activity. So that is how, at 1982 onwards, this subject they started developing, but now everybody has realized today every company gives great importance to the supply chain management, because that is where what has happened is that is where the company's profits are controlled, because delivery costs are quite important. You must have seen that sometimes what happens is that if you have ordered something on Amazon, it may be only a small piece, let us say a 6-inch by 6-inch, a small packet, what you have ordered, but yet you will get it in a big packet of 1 feet by 1 feet. You would be wondering as to why they are spending so much of money on this packing. No, but that is not the case. The case is they are more worried about the supply chain, the delivery, and standardization of packing, which is where they will save the cost. For every type of packing, if they start using separate boxes, then their inventory may go up. Something may get utilized fast, something may not get utilized fast. So what these companies have done is that they have standardized on their packaging, and whatever standards, whatever is the nearest standard, they pack it and send it to you. So that is how these things are evolving, and that is how every company is now paying more and more attention to value-added SCM. Oh, sorry. So SCM is also called, now that is the latest definition, which says, 1 minute. Yeah. SCM also is called the art of, see, this is the latest scientific definition. It is the most appropriate for supply chain management. It is called the art of management. It is not a science, or it's an art. Now, art means it carries a different meaning, that people give minutest importance to all the aspects of the activity. So it's called the art of management of providing the right product. Now you must understand very clearly that it is the right product. It is not the product. If you have ordered something on Amazon of a particular brand or a particular model, or to any company, then it has to be the same product. It's the right product at the right time. Again, right time means you need it tomorrow, it should be available by tomorrow, or if they have promised delivery tomorrow, it has to be at your place tomorrow. At the right place. It has to be the place at which you want the delivery, and at the right cost to the customer. So this is the latest SCM definition, that it is an art of management of providing the right product at the right time, at the right price, place, and at the right cost to the customer. And this helps even the company to maintain their costs. Now, if you want to write down or save this screenshot, you can do so before I proceed to the next. But this is very important definition. Shall I go ahead? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, you can.
Now, what is supply chain management? So right place, right time, everything we have seen. But now, supply chain management outlines the strategy. It is a strategy and activities that go into planning, sourcing, producing, and delivering goods. So what it involves, it is a strategy. It is not something, a simple activity. It is a strategy of how you plan your, how you do planning of your manufacturing, how will you source it, which is the best source, which is the most economical source, still maintaining the quality, producing, how will you produce a quality product in a best possible time, and how do you deliver the goods. So this is a repetition, but still it is explaining that it's a strategy. It is not simple and simple activity of manufacturing and delivering. Now, as the logistics is a part of supply chain management. Without logistics, supply chain management is incomplete. Because if you have seen in the previous slide, I showed you in integrated supply chain management that every activity is linked. So, and that linkage is through logistics. You are only producing in one your plant, but material coming from your supplier, then you get, store, manufacture, and then you give it to the next level. Now that every level, that is incoming and outgoing, it is all logistics. Without logistics, SCM is incomplete. So what logistics does, that it focuses on the right product, being at the right place at the right time at the right price. Now again, here they are using the rights. This is the latest definition of logistics activity. Right product means not the product what has been manufactured. The logistics activity has a product means they use a right type of vehicle, the right type of handling equipments, the right type of storage in the right place at the right time. And then the products are delivered at the right place and at the right time. So the logistics is focusing primarily on its movement from one place to the other place and how to get them to their ultimate consumer. So this is the difference between logistics. Supply chain management is a strategy of planning, sourcing, producing, and delivering goods. That means a company has manufactured, they have stored, and then handed over to the logistics. Now, what the logistics will focus is further in the same manner. They are responsible for delivering to the ultimate customer at the right place, right time. And the price, why the word price has come? They have to optimize their logistics cost so that the company is not overburdened with the cost of logistics. Means, say for example, if you have a say 1,000 kg of material to be sent from one place to the other place, they won't use a big truck. They would rather use a smaller vehicle, maybe a three-wheeler or maybe a smaller tempo. A suitable vehicle they will select so that their cost of transportation is reduced. So that is where the right price word comes. And this benefits, entire of these logistics activities are benefiting the manufacturer. So now we go to the next one is that logistics management is a part of supply chain process. Is a part of supply chain process. Okay, that is very important word. That logistics management is the part of supply chain process that plans, implements, and controls the efficient, effective flow and storage of goods, services, and related information from the point of origin to the point of consumption to meet customer requirement. This is another little enlarged definition of logistics management, wherein they say that it's a process which plans everything from point of origin to the point of consumption to meet the customer requirement. So there are a link between the point of origin, that is the manufacturer or maybe a warehouse, ultimately to the customer. So this is how another definition of logistics management, which is also equally important, and it elaborates to a little more extent. Now, Philip Kotler. Are you aware about Philip Kotler?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, Philip Kotler is considered to be a father of materials management. He is a father of materials management, and Philip Kotler's books are considered as Bible for inventory controls and materials management, even today. He was way back in 1980s. He was also there, but he is one of the most famous and called father of materials management and inventory control. So his books are even referred today like Bible for any this subject actually. So what he has defined, see, he was an authority on materials management and logistics. He says that planning, implementing and controlling the physical flow of materials and finished goods from the point of origin to the point of use to meet customer needs at a profit. This was his definition. Again, if you see everything what comes out common is planning, controlling, point of origin to the point of use. These are the important words that we have been seeing even from SCM and logistics. Now, if you see that from the point of origin to the point of use, means if you are buying anything from your supplier or a vendor, from vendor's premises to your factory is also a planning, implementing, and controlling physical flow, which the your vendor has to do. At the same time, the company also keeps a track of it, because subsequently, way back somewhere in 1980s, just-in-time management was introduced, if you are aware. That was introduced by Japanese companies, wherein they had made all their suppliers, like what I gave you example of my experience in Maruti Gujarat plant. Companies wanted to reduce their own inventory because of couple of reasons. Company, if he wants, originally company would keep. I remember when I was young, I was in my early career. We used to store the material for at least 3 to 4 weeks of requirement. As a result, what happens was company had to have his own large stores, people to manage that stores and all. Then, as the time went, the cost of land became more and more, and that was making companies to think on how to reduce the stock levels without affecting the production. So then during that time, the just-in-time management was introduced by Japanese companies. So then industry started reducing their stock positions from 1 month to 2 weeks, and then 1 week. And in automotive industry, since both of you are familiar with that, it is the same day or next day at a specific time. Because I have worked there for almost 1.5 years. 8 o'clock means 7:45 means 7:45 my cargo has to be there. Company will not store even for a day or even for an hour. 7:45 we had to deliver to that particular place from where the robot will pick up. So that was the way the whole thing has developed. So that is why this whole physical flow of materials has undergone a change. This Philip Kotler, I would suggest both of you that please try and see on the net about him, about the materials management practices, because he's the father of the materials management and inventory control. And his books are even today referred very, very nicely. Yeah. Again, what Philip Kotler said, that SCM includes the high-level process involved in sourcing and buying raw materials and eventually creating finished goods. So it is not a simple activity, it's a high-level process. Nowadays, companies are, as I told you previously also, that they are considering the vendor as their partner in progress. They are not simply their vendors. They are partners in progress. The companies do take care of their internal processes. Even if the vendor has some financial difficulty, company do help them to overcome that. Then company enters into contract to see that they have a guaranteed purchasing agreement, so that the vendor doesn't have to worry about, if I can't manufacture and they don't lift, what happens? So that's why it is called a high-level process involved in sourcing. Now, please understand that certain words will come repeatedly. One of them is this sourcing and buying raw materials. This has become very important because nowadays, being the whole network of vendors are across India, maybe across world. You may have some few customers abroad. You may have some customer in Chennai, somebody in Kolkata, somebody in Gujarat. Now, if you have to source material from them, it's a challenge, and it is a high level of process to ensure that your production doesn't suffer you get a quality product at the right time, where you can manufacture, then you can manufacture a finished product. The next one is again, SCM uses logistics to deliver goods to the customer. So as I said, that SCM without logistics is difficult to imagine. But it ultimately strives to boost the bottom line and increases a business competitive edge. See, logistics cost, every company is minutely controlling and minutely trying to reduce by various methods, standardization of package, even standardization of their own product also to suit a particular way. For example, I'll give you that in exports, you have a container, 20-feet container. Now, 20-feet container can carry, say, 21 tons of cargo. Now, how to optimize the space of a 20-feet container for exports plays a very major importance. So even the companies do change their product physically and package wise also, so that they can optimize the space of 20-feet container, because even 10 boxes extra will bring down the cost per equipment or per kg for a particular product. If you, I would like to just share one more example. Okay, I'll do it in the next slide. Look, now this is what is present situation. Supply chain is in the crawling stage of using artificial intelligence. So far, what we have seen is internet and IT, during which in logistics and supply chain, you have introduced barcodes, you have introduced GPS systems and all. But now the next thing which is coming for your generation, believe me, in 5 years' time, you will be faced with this AI in a big way. And it is the time for, since both of you, I think he has left. Praveen has left. Harshita? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Praveen has left, it seems. Yeah, I think Praveen has left.
Yes, sir. Maybe he has some network issue or he has left.
So, you want a break?
Sir, 5 minutes break. Actually,
Okay.
I'm riding Activa na. I will reach home after 5 minutes. We take
Yeah,
5
fine,
minutes
fine.
break.
Let us have a break.
Okay, thank you, sir.
5 minutes of break. Nah. Salad, salad. અત્યારે શું આવું કઈ કઈ તૈયાર કરવું પડે છે એક જણો તો નીકળી ગયો 4 માંથી 2 જ આયા 2 માંથી એક હમણાં નીકળી ગયો એક છોકરી છે કઈ આજે કરીશ ને તો બાદ ઇન્ટ્રોડક્શન હતું ના ના મેં એમાં મૂક્યા છે ને પિક્ચર્સ ને ફોટો You are there?
Yes, sir. I'm back.
Just tell me.
Yes, sir. I'm back. I'm here.
Okay, okay. So we were talking about the next phase of evolution in supply chain, which is by using artificial intelligence. So maybe in next 5-7 years, you will see a major change the way the companies will operate as far as the production, manufacturing, and supply chain activities. Because I'm sure that you must have been reading in the newspapers that how AI is now developing. There is a chat GPT if you download ChatGPT on Google and ask any question, or if you want to write a letter, it will do it in split seconds, and you will have everything available. The best of letter or an article that you want to write. So ChatGPT has entered the arena. There are a lot of apprehensions that once the AI will develop, that may affect the jobs in the industry or across the globe. So they are trying to, you must read all such articles which are coming nowadays on this AI technology development that is happening across Europe and USA. So Dave Waters is again today's, you can say, modern days father of supply chain management after Philip Kotler. Now Dave Waters also, if you search on the net, you will find that he has quite many things to share about the developments that are happening in supply chain. Now, what is the role of logistics within supply chain management? Because both go hand in hand. Without logistics, SCM is of no great use. It can't function, basically. So let us say 5 things. One is planning. Supply chain management uses planning for its manufacturing, procuring, planning of its activities. Wherein in logistics, they plan the inventory control. They do the inventory control. Then comes sourcing. As SCM, the company is responsible and manages their sourcing of raw materials and products, components. Whereas logistics will handle material handling and transportation. They are not worried about the previous activities of manufacturing and sourcing. Then comes manufacturing. So what the company does is manufacturing. So whereas logistics, what they do? Material handling, storage, warehousing and transportation. So within a store, for storage and warehousing, they use, or loading, unloading, they use the material handling equipments, and then they do the transportation, for which they use appropriate vehicles. Then next part of SCM is delivering. So the company cannot deliver on its own. So they have a 3PL or 4PL logistics company who will support them for delivering. Now, whenever next time you get a package from Amazon or Flipkart, just look at it closely. You will see that there is a Delivery, Delhivery. Delivery is a company which is associated with Amazon for delivering the material at your doorstep. So whenever you get any package from any of these online companies, just look at who has done who has handled your packaging, who has handled the delivery to you. So that also has got quite an information as to when they received the package, when it, and if you see, Amazon even provides you Yeah, Mr. Neeraj, both of them have left. मैं 5 मिनट राह देखता हूँ, because पहले तो प्रवीण निकल गया, फिर when we had a break, I asked Harshita, and she said 5 minutes break. So then after break she came, but then in another 5 minutes she left. अच्छा. I will wait for 5-10 minutes. मैं on रखता हूँ screen. हाँ. ओके, ठीक है. ओके, थैंक यू. सॉरी. कुछ टाइम है आपके पास? अच्छा, तो ये वो मैं बैकग्राउंड कैसे मैं करूं, जरा बताइए, क्योंकि मैंने ब्लर तो कर दिया है और डेस्कटॉप पे भी आ गया है, लेकिन वहां से पिक करके बैकग्राउंड में कैसे डालूं? अच्छा, बस उसमें मैं आपको बताता हूँ. हाँ है. या ऐड इमेज. हाँ, ऐड इमेज. अच्छा, ठीक है. ओके. ये मैंने सिलेक्ट कर लिया. सिलेक्ट ये मैंने सिलेक्ट किया. उसके बाद ओपन और कैंसल ऐसा कुछ आ रहा है उसमें. हाँ, ओपन एज रीड ओनली. आ गया. या आ गया. या आ गया. या अच्छा. अच्छा, कनेक्ट कर दूं? हाँ, ऑन हूं मैं. या अच्छा, ये सर कैन नॉट बी एबल टू कनेक्ट द क्लास. ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम. तो ठीक है, लेट्स कनेक्ट ऑन नेक्स्ट संडे. ऐसे दिख देता हूं आपको. ठीक है. नहीं, आई कैन कनेक्ट अगेन इफ यू वांट. नहीं, उनकी तरफ से प्रॉब्लम आ रही है सर. अच्छा, ठीक है. सो आई एम क्लोजिंग इट. फिनिश करते हैं. चलिए, अच्छा स्टार्ट हो गया. ओके. नाउ वी आर प्लानिंग, तो धीरे हो जाएगा. पहले ठीक है. नो प्रॉब्लम. तो मैं एंड कर देता हूँ. ओके.